A lot of advice being thrown around in the YouTube growth space sucks, and some of it is actually hurting small channels. But how are you supposed to know what to listen to and what to ignore? Well, I've grown a channel to over 100,000 subscribers by ignoring a lot of the common guru advice out there. And I want to share 3 of the biggest ones that you should ignore too, one of which was responsible for completely turning my channel around. And I'll also reveal a framework that you can follow so you can ignore all the rubbish advice out there and to simplify all of this to finally succeed on YouTube. Okay, our first bit of bad advice is algorithm hacks and exploits. You know the kind of videos I'm talking about, the turn this setting on to blow up your channel or things you have to do after every upload. These videos play to your desire to get quick wins with little effort, which is something we all want. But the truth is they do very little. And I'm not kidding, I actually laughed out loud when I saw one the other day that said that changing your video category is a must for helping the video find the right audience. I didn't even know this setting existed, and I've had plenty of videos that do very well without ever touching it, but that's not the only one. Things like uploading your video and leaving it for 48 hours for YouTube to figure out what the video is, being very specific with when you post your videos and how regularly, following very strict thumbnail rules like, I don't know, having faces in every single thumbnail, or using intricate tag strategies to game the algorithm. I hear some of these things and I just think, how can you possibly know that they work? Because the truth is no one but YouTube really knows how effective they are. But all I can do is speak from experience and say that after many years of creating content and studying hundreds if not thousands of videos to this point, all of these hacks are not going to do much at all, if anything. The people parroting the advice are usually just getting it from another video they're copying which they can see did well. Then they just package it as some secret or hack that they found, but the reality is that it's likely not worth your time. Okay, next is chasing views. I know that sounds crazy, but I mean focusing on views above all else because so much advice out there is positioning views as the ultimate goal, and it can send many creators down the wrong path or just having them feel worse about their progress than they really need to. Now, I'm not against trying to get big view numbers, and in fact, I was able to do exactly that by ignoring the next piece of bad advice we'll get to, but getting too focused on it does create issues. If you're just chasing trends for views and bouncing around all over the place, you're going to find it difficult to create a loyal following of people that stick around for years as opposed to a video or two. It might also mean that you make too many compromises around what you actually want to create, and before you know it, you're pumping out content you don't have passion for and that doesn't light you up creatively. And lastly, if it's your plan to build a business as a creator, relying on views to pay your way is a very bad idea. And we've seen why in recent months as so many channels are having their revenue slashed because of changes to how YouTube counts views, putting many creators in difficult positions financially. We'll cover exactly how to combat this issue as well as a better approach to getting views in a bit, but ignoring this next piece of common guru advice was the single biggest driver to me turning my channel around, succeeding on YouTube and creating a business that gave me the freedom I really wanted. And that's going for a narrow niche. I've been creating content and growing businesses online for well over a decade at this point, and the advice to niche down has always been there. It's the advice to niche down to something specific and become known for that. But while there is logic to it, it is fundamentally flawed advice. For starters, how do you even know if you've niched down enough, or in many cases, if you've niched down too far? That's the exact trap I fell into where I created content in a very narrow niche for years. And while the channel was growing, it was nothing special, and the business never got big enough to really support me. It was only once I decided to ignore that advice and start making videos that targeted broader audiences that everything changed. I started getting hundreds of thousands more views, attracting fantastic brand deals, while also helping me sell more of my own products too. Being stuck in a small niche is likely going to mean your channel never becomes anything more than a creative hobby. Not to mention that it can start to get monotonous creating videos on the same topics over and over again. So given all of that, here's how we can simplify the process to YouTube success to help you ignore all the useless advice being thrown around while focusing just on what you need to succeed. But just really quickly, if you are enjoying this video, I would hugely appreciate it if you would hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because all I do is create videos to help you create freedom doing work you love by growing a successful YouTube channel and business, and I would love to have you along for your journey. Okay, so what do we actually need to do to succeed? First is to know who you're making videos for. A really good way of finding a great direction for your channel that doesn't pigeonhole you into a very narrow niche is to think of a single person you want to create videos for and consider what interests they have in a broader niche. So for example, with my channel, originally I was just making videos for motorcycle track riders, but I branched out into making videos for road riders as well as motorcycle sports fans. to help me tap into a much bigger audience while still staying true to my core audience. And while these topics may seem separate, they all target a single person with multiple related interests. If you're currently in a narrow niche, think of other interests your core viewers might have, and it could open massive opportunities for your channel, just like it did for me. Step 2 is to spend more time in pre-production. This means more time on coming up with great ideas, titles, thumbnails, and hooks. These are the backbone of any great video, and the vast majority of their success can be attributed to these things. And because they know that, the best creators will spend an awful lot more time on them than your average creator. Now, I fully appreciate that you won't have the time or resources that they do, but trust me, even just a bit more time can make all the difference. And if going broader was the biggest driver of turning my channel around, getting good at these things came in a very close second, because whatever your niche, if your ideas, titles, thumbnails, and hooks are no good, no one is going to click. Get good at these things and you'll never have to think about another algorithm hack or exploit ever again. Next is to be intentional. This comes back to chasing views and seeing them as the goal. Again, trying to get more views is fine, and I've definitely made videos with the goal of maximizing views, but those videos were intentional, trying to bring in as many of the right viewers as possible to open the door to specific opportunities like brand deals or to push people to my own products. Almost every time I create a video, that video will have a purpose that helps me grow my channel in the right way while also growing the business too. And the other way to be intentional is to learn and improve with each video. Spend time learning about what's working in your niche, what you can take away from each video you make, and how you can create something a little bit better next time. I've said it many times before, but it's not about repetition, but rather iteration. This means trying to do better and not just blindly creating content hoping things magically take off. And finally, don't quit. Do you want to know the biggest difference between every successful creator and the ones that failed? They didn't quit. Yes, there are stories of quick breakout stars every now and then, but the overwhelming majority just stayed in the game long enough to see success. And honestly, it's not that complicated. Just focus on these steps and stick with it long enough, accepting that long enough isn't just a few weeks, but rather months, if not years. It's not easy, but like I said, it is simple. So get clear on who you're making videos for. Put in more effort to come up with great ideas, titles, and thumbnails. Be intentional with what you create while focusing on iteration, then just stay in the game long enough. That is how you create a channel and business that creates the freedom doing work that you love. But one of the very biggest challenges on YouTube is coming up with great ideas. So in this video here, I break down exactly how the #1 YouTube strategist does it. If that's an area you're stuck with, that video is definitely for you. But outside of that, thank you so much for joining me for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.